In this video, I am going to tell you about derivative approximation method or backward difference method. Okay, both names are same and this method is having a principle that this method stands on principle that the both derivatives in S and Z planes are equated to get the transformation equation. That means the derivative in analog domain is equal to the derivative in digital domain. Okay, so we have to, how to start this method means we have to take a derivative of a first derivative in analog domain and we have to equate to the first derivative in digital domain. Okay, so here this is the principle of this method, and each method that we have discussed in our previous class, this derivative approximation, impulse invariance, bilinear transformation, matched jet transforms, everything that each method stands on different principle, and our derivative approximation method stands on this principle. Okay, so this is called as first derivative. So first derivative, what will be the first derivative in our analog domain? If you take y of t as a signal, then the first derivative will be dy of t by dt, right? So what is the derivative? First derivative in digital domain means we can write it as y of n minus y of n minus 1 divided by t. Okay, this t is for, as this is digital domain, it requires sampling rate, so this t, the total number of samples that we have, or else time, it can be taken as time also. We represent like this. Okay, so now apply Laplace transform to LHS. As this is analog domain, we have to apply Laplace transform, and here Z transform to RHS. Okay, so as this is, we have to apply Laplace transform to this and we have to apply Laplace transform to this. So if you apply here, this will be S into y of S is equal to y of Z, n will become y of Z minus y of Z into Z inverse. Okay, divided by t. So y of Z, if you take out as common, 1 minus Z inverse by t. This is S into y of S. As we have taken this in time domain, as we have equated this in time domain, as and in frequency domain also we have to equate these two. So y of S, y of Z, if you eliminate those two terms, that implies S is mapped as S is equal to 1 minus Z inverse by t. Okay, like this we can get our relationship between S and Z. Okay, and the method has not ended even though the relationship has been achieved, and we have to check for another S value also. So let us consider second derivative. Okay, so in second derivative we'll check whether the relationship is going to be like this or else whether the relationship is going to be changed. So in second derivative it can be written as d square y of t by dt square in analog domain. This is the principle, and derivative in analog domain is equal to derivative in digital domain, d square y of t by dt square, and that equal to, in digital domain we write it as y of n minus 1 by t. This is our first derivative, and second derivative can be written as y of n minus 1 minus y of n minus 2 by t whole divided by t. Okay, second derivative will be written like this, and whenever the third derivative comes, it comes as minus y of n minus 2 minus y of n minus 3 by t. Okay, like this it comes. So that equal to, you can simply write it as y of n minus 2 y of n minus 1 plus y of en minus 2 divided by t. You can directly write this equation if you are confident. Okay, so d square y of t divided by dt. As the same procedure here, you have to apply Laplace transform to LHS and Z transform to RHS. So it will be s square y of s that equal to y of z minus 2 y of z, z inverse plus z power minus 2 divided by, this will be t square, sorry, this will be t square. Okay. So take out y of z as common, y of z into 1 minus 2 z inverse plus z power minus 2 divided by t square. This is s square into y of s. So s square is into y of s is equal to y of s into this one. So this can be written as 1 minus z inverse whole square divided by t square, right? So s square is equal to, by comparing, sorry, by principle, derivative in time domain is equal to derivative in frequency domain. We can write as s square is equal to 1 minus z inverse by t square. So as here it is s for single derivative s equal to 1 minus z inverse. If it is second derivative, it is s square is equal to 1 minus z inverse whole square by t square. So similarly, s power n is equal to 1 minus z inverse divided by t whole power n. So even the relation is standing as same for nth derivative also. Okay, this is the derivative approximation method. So first point we have to take this. So whenever the method is completed, we'll map. Okay, for what purpose we are mapping? We are mapping whether to check these two conditions are working fine or not. LHS of left S plane has been mapped into unit circle, or else the j omega axis has been mapped onto the unit circle. We have to check these 2 points. For checking of these 2 points, we are doing mapping here. So let us map here first. S is equal to, we know that 1 minus z inverse by t. So it can be written as z inverse is equal to 1 minus st and z is equal to 1 by 1 minus st, right? So just substitute z is equal to r e power j omega and s is equal to sigma plus j omega in above equation. So r e power j omega is equal to 1 by 1 minus sigma plus j analog omega into t. Okay, so that can be written as 1 by 1 minus sigma plus j omega t. So if you want to compare real and imaginary points, you have to do rationalizing for this. So r into e power j omega is equal to 1 by 1 minus sigma plus j omega t into 1 minus sigma. So sorry, here this is minus, this is also minus, 1 minus sigma minus j omega t, and this is 1 minus sigma plus j omega t divided by 1 minus sigma plus j omega t. So this process is called as rationalizing, as we know this. So this is 1 minus sigma plus j omega t divided by 1 minus sigma square. This is a minus b into a plus b. So it will be a square plus b square. So this will be omega square t square. Okay. So if you separate those two terms, like 1 minus sigma plus j omega t divided by 1 minus sigma square plus omega square t square, the same term we have to separate for real and imaginary parts. So r e power j omega is equal to, can be written as 1 minus sigma by 1 minus sigma whole square plus sigma square t square plus j into, this is real part, j into analog omega into t by 1 minus sigma square plus sigma square into t square. Okay, like this we can write. So just compare on both sides. Okay, if you compare on both sides, real part of z is equal to 1 minus sigma t by 1 minus sigma t whole square plus omega square t square, and imaginary part of z is equal to omega t by 1 minus sigma t square plus omega square t square. Okay, so we have to check for conditions, right? Case 1. What is case 1? If sigma is equal to 0. So what happens if sigma is equal to 0 for real part of z? So let this part be 1 minus sigma t by 1 minus sigma t square plus omega square t square, and this part be y is equal to omega t divided by 1 minus sigma t whole square plus omega square t square. Okay, so here if you take sigma is, if sigma is equal to 0, then x and y terms, I am taking real part of z as x and I am treating imaginary part of z as y. So if you substitute sigma is equal to 0, x is equal to 1 by 1 plus omega square t square, and y is equal to omega t divided by 1 plus omega square t square. So let's check for x square plus y square now. So if you do x square plus y square whole square plus omega square t square by 1 plus omega square t square whole square. So this will be, as the denominators are same, the numerators will get added, divided by 1 plus sigma square t square whole square. The whole term will get cancelled. That's 1 by 1 plus omega square t square will be remained. So what is this value? This value is nothing but x, right? So that equal to x. So x square plus y square is equal to x. This is what we have got now. So what happens for x square plus y square is equal to x? This is nothing but a quadratic expression, okay, for x in x and y, and this is equation of circle. This can be written as, after factorization you can directly written as x minus 1 by 2 whole square plus y square is equal to 1 by 4. Okay, so this will be a circle which is having origin at 1 by 2 comma 0 and radius as 1 by 2. Okay, as this is the circle. So how it come means, x square minus x plus y square, this can be written as, here I will tell you, x square minus x plus y square is equal to 0. So x square minus x plus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4 plus y square is equal to 0. If you write like this, and this is the formula for x minus 1 by 2 whole square plus y square is equal to, this minus 1 by 4 will go here. Okay, like this came. From here, this simplification, it came to here. So this resembles like a circle, right? So what is our condition for sigma? If sigma is equal to 0, that means the j omega axis should lie on the unit circle. Yes, here if you check out, if you refer to this diagram, the j omega axis should refer to the unit circle, but here that is not happening. Okay, this is the main drawback of our method, that is not happening. sigma j omega, real part of z, imaginary part of z. So in sigma is equal to 0, that means poles on j omega axis, they have been mapped as a circle, okay, which is having, if you take this as unit circle, okay, so it is having origin at 1/2 comma 0, this is our unit circle, radius is equal to 1 and origin at 0 0, and this will be our circle for 1/2 comma 0. Like this it will come. The points are getting mapped inside the circle also, not only on the unit circle. So our mapping criteria is not getting matched in our backward difference method. So this is the main drawback of backward difference method. So that we will move into our next concept called as impulse invariance method. Okay, so before going to that method, we'll see how to solve problems on derivative approximation method. Okay, let me show you how the question will be asked. So students, the question will be asked like this: find the digital transfer function of analog filter h of s is equal to, they will give a transfer function in s for t is equal to 2 seconds. If the time is not mentioned in the question, then take t as 1 second, normalized time. Okay, so how we will solve means, so in this we have to write as given h of s is equal to 1 by s square plus 4 and time is equal to 2 seconds, and you have to digital transfer function of analog digital filter. Here they will specify the method. Okay, use derivative approximation method. Okay, in question alone they will specify the method. So we know that s is equal to 1 minus z inverse by t. Okay, so you have to substitute. So we know that h of z is equal to h of s at s is equal to 1 minus z inverse by t. This is the main important point that you have to highlight in your answer. Okay, so if you highlight like this in your answer, definitely if the question is asked for 5 marks, 1.5 mark will be allotted here if you represent this. That means the person who is correcting your paper will be having an idea that yeah, this person knows the knowledge. So definitely 1.5 mark will be allotted to this representation. So now substitute h of z is equal to h of s means, what is h of s here? 1 by s square plus 4 at s is equal to 1 minus z inverse by t is 2. So after substituting, now substitute 1 by 1 minus z inverse by 2 whole square plus 4. So if you simplify this one, 1 by 1 minus z inverse whole square means it can be written as z power minus 2 z inverse plus 1 plus 4 divided by 4. Okay, so if you write this 4 to numerator, then h of z will be 4 divided by z power minus 2 minus 2 z inverse plus 5, 1 plus 4. And if you take out this z square as outside, it can be written as 4z square divided by 5z square minus 2z plus 1. Okay, so this is our h of z. Finally you have achieved your transfer function. So problems on derivative approximation method is as simple as this. Okay, I hope you understood this one, and check out for the derivation part and for the mapping part, and if you have any doubts please let me know. This is about derivative approximation method, and in next lecture I will be teaching you about impulse invariance method.